Hello together and welcome back to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is Jens and I have about 7 years experience in the markets trading assets via price action, and that's the thing we also want to do today with S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin, starting with the weekly time frame and then all the way down to the 4-hour time frame so that you know exactly what to do in the markets in this environment. Let's start directly with S&P 500 index. On a weekly, what can we see? We can see that price made a weekly impulse followed by a weekly correction, then a second weekly impulse to the upside that broke the last all-time high back in December 2021, and then the second weekly correction, not completely to this last all-time high. It was pretty bullish, so we start directly the next impulse, and it got officially the next impulse after leaving behind these all-time highs. If we drop down to the daily, this signal of making new all-time highs, starting officially the next weekly impulse to the upside, was a sign to me to buy my first position with this portfolio, especially for this YouTube channel. And I bought 20% of my account balance into an S&P 500 index fund. And yeah, we have seen a daily impulse, a daily correction, and now we are in the second daily impulse. What is possible from here? We can see a bearish scenario where price will fall below this daily uptrend line and this daily support and resistance zone. We fall below, make a retest and break all the way down back to this last all-time highs we have seen on the weekly. That would be my bearish scenario, and I would hope that price will find resistance around here. But as long as this isn't the case, that we break below that, I stay pretty bullish. I think the next dips back to this daily uptrend line or the last all-time highs are buying opportunities, but make research by yourself. That's it for the S&P 500. Let's switch to US oil. We start here also with the weekly time frame where each candle represents 1 week of price action. So the bigger view, we see here a monthly downtrend line and a monthly support and resistance zone. Both got broken to the upside. Since then we are moving in a weekly correction marked by this orange downtrend line. Recently price was able to get above this downtrend line and is now in a correction phase, supported by the 200 moving average and the monthly support and resistance zone. If we drop down to the daily, we can see I was able to also draw a daily white downtrend line above this price action. Last Friday, price was able to make it above this downtrend line, but price has problems to really break out here. We are still below the 200 moving average, which can mean that we will see prices getting lower. We can analyze it better on the 4-hour time frame, in my view, where I was also able to draw a 4-hour blue dotted uptrend line that got broken to the downside. And in my opinion, as long as we don't see price getting above this last high, I stay bearish. But if price will be able to get above this, I will get notified on my smartphone if that's the case, and then I want to buy a position in US oil for the long run, probably also around 20% of the portfolio for this YouTube channel. But yeah, so you know, price can behave in both directions, so stay cautious and make your decisions by yourself. Let's switch to gold. On the weekly time frame, we can see price was finally able to get above this weekly resistance zone, and from there on price skyrocketed to the upside, and now we're starting to see some bearish signals like this double top formation and the MACD crossing to the downside. On the daily, we can see the MACD indicator showed us a divergence to price. MACD has made lower highs while price has made higher highs, and that's a bearish signal. After that, price broke the white dotted uptrend line to the downside, and now I wish that the correction moves further to the downside, all the way down to a zone between the 0.5 and 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, in combination with this daily uptrend line and this daily support and resistance zone. That would be for me the perfect spot to get long positions in the gold market with this portfolio. But there's also a second scenario where it would be much harder to find the right entry into the market. And that would mean that we will move sideways from here and that this will get a big consolidation zone, and after that price will break to the upside. That's a little bit of risk here, but because I think the chances of getting into the market in this scenario are much harder, and maybe I don't find the right spot, but I will inform you about that in my future videos. So like, subscribe and comment, and keep active with this trading, and I would be interested in hearing your opinion about this price action. Drop down to the 4-hour time frame. I have drawn in a 4-hour support and resistance zone. I predicted that price will react to it. It did, but so far it stayed below the 200 moving average and this blue dotted downtrend line, which is positive for me because that means that there's still the possibility that we will see a break, a retest, and then the continuation move of this bigger correction to the zone where I like to buy some position. I see that this line isn't shown in the hour time frame, so let's change that. Yeah, and at this area I would like to collect some gold ounces. Let's switch again to the weekly and Bitcoin. Yes, here we can see that Bitcoin is still in all-time high territory, and we are definitely in an uptrending market. On a daily we can see it in more detail. Similar to the S&P 500 index movement, we had an impulse, a correction, a second impulse, and a second correction overall to the upside. But Bitcoin has the technical difference to the S&P 500 index that it hasn't made an all-time high after that. So technically we are still in this correction and not in a new impulse to the upside. This daily downtrend line looked to me like broken with this engulfing candle, a good spot to already buy 20% of my account balance into Bitcoin. So my first position for this YouTube channel account, and right, higher prices from there. But now it looks like this correction isn't as clean as normally correction, breakout, rising prices to new all-time highs, but more like range-bound consolidation zone-like. So there's still the possibility that price will go lower from here, and that would be also the point where I would buy more Bitcoins for enlarging this position at a cheaper price tag. What's not allowed to happen, it's not allowed to happen for Bitcoin to get below the daily support zone in combination with the weekly uptrend line and 200 moving average. If we get below that, make a retest and break the retest to the downside, that would be a really bearish scenario, and from there on price would probably drop down all the way to the $40,000 level. That wouldn't be good. So if we see that, I will sell all my positions with this account in Bitcoin and wait till price finds support and stabilize. Yeah, but don't throw the devil to the wall, as a German saying. Nothing like that happened so far. So I'm staying bullish. My position so far is at break even, so no profit but also no loss. But if we go to the 4-hour time frame, I think there's a loss, a book loss coming in, because we broke this 4-hour support zone in combination with the 200 moving average to the downside. So I expect lower prices from here. And yeah, like I said, I will not sell this position. I will buy even more Bitcoins with a lower price tag and get a bigger Bitcoin position for this account before we hopefully break this consolidation zone finally to the upside and see new all-time highs. If you have any questions, comment below this video. I will answer them as good as I can. Have a great week. We're here and see us next week. Bye bye.